Hey, Brett here. So tonight I'm going to start my warm up with some Bagua just because I haven't done it in a couple of days. Then I'm going to do the neck adjacent strengthening and sort of isometrics and warm up routine. And then I'm going to do day 5 of the classic science of stretching sequence. So that's the plan for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start with a little bit of Bagua. I'll start with basic circle walking to warm up my body. Ooh, my lower back is tight, so I'm going to push my sacrum down, which hopefully will extend my lower back. Too close to the wall. Losing my balance there. Asymmetrical. An interesting thing about Bagua is it's circular. So, for example, Tai Chi is mostly linear. You're at 90 degrees, you're at 45 degrees. You turn 90 degrees, you turn 180 degrees. But in Bagua, it's circular. And so there's a right side on the inside, which is what I'm doing now, and a left side, which means there's two versions of every palm change. I'm not kicking very high right now. And then there's the right side. Grab the cherries. Oh, my balance on this side is so off. Okay. Just want a little bit of twisting before I get started. That was Master Waylon Huang's linking set, 8 palm changes linked together into a single palm change as as a sequence. Um, it's really a nice thing to do. On to shaking. It's been my theme for this week, or actually the last few weeks, I think. I'm not sure exactly. Do a few extra things. Now, what I'm actually doing here is my arms are flopping. I'm letting them relax. So I'm actually moving them entirely with my hips, and I move my hips with my feet. So pushing with my left foot, pushing with my right foot. Okay, now next I'm going to twist my whole torso and shoulders together, and along with my head. This is just a warm up to get into the part where we really squeeze my spine. So now I'm going to start making this a little more intense by looking forward as I do the same thing I was doing before. So waist and hips and shoulders are turning together. Now I'm going to hold the shoulder and turn the waist and hips. And hold the waist and hips and move the shoulders. And then finally, I'm going to move the shoulders and the hips and waist opposite. This is really activating my mid back on either side of the spine. Okay. Now, I'm going to use my eyes to lead my head. That is, I'm trying to synchronize the movement of my eyes with my head. And if you want, also your breathing. So inhale, look up. And as your eyes move up, when they get to the top of where they can look, move your head to allow them to continue looking up. And then maybe exhale down, look down, follow. Start to look up and inhale. You want halfway up, exhale. Start to inhale, look down. Exhale, continue down. Now back to center, and we'll do the same thing right to left. So inhale, go right. Exhale, eyes go left, and now we're sort of out of sequence, but that's fine. Just go all the way to the left. Now, inhale as your eyes move, your head follows to the right. And exhale, continue all the way, hold over there. Now, inhale to the left, you look left, your head turns left and follows. And exhale as you conclude. One more each way. I'm feeling that really in my traps. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit more. Warm up the shoulders just a little bit more, just rotating them forward and backward. All right, and I need to sort of finish up here because I'm going to run out of time. All right, so now I'm going to do isometrics. A couple of things. You can sit down doing this. You can intensify it if you want by doing this in the standing position. But if you're going to stand, feet about hip width apart, knees slightly bent. sacrum, try to push your sacrum down. As you do that, you might feel more pressure in your heels. And if you do, what you're doing is you're getting your ligaments engaged. And so you're kind of locking your body into the earth. You're starting to root your body. And then I'm going to push my fontanelle, top back of the head, the soft spot on a baby's head, so above the tips of the ears. I'm going to push that up. And that's how I'm going to start with the push. And then for the push, the timer's over there. I'll just I'll count in my head. We do approximately 30 seconds or count to 30. Forward, backward, front, right, left, forward, and back. So right hand, right side of the head, and I'm going to inhale and I'm going to start counting and press. And relax. So last night I did these after I had stretched my shoulders pretty intensely, and I felt this all the way pretty far down in my shoulder blade on both sides. Now it was a little more shallow, but still worth doing. This is a good thing, a gentle way to strengthen your neck. And if you have neck damage, one of the things you can do is you build up some strength so the muscles compensate for whatever damage you have. I've got damage in my neck and my mid back, and this maintains it. So same thing, left side. And inhale. And here we go. Tucking my hips. I'm actually pushing my sacrum down, which causes the perineum to come forward and align with my bubbling wells or mid of the arch. Sorry. Okay, I'm also dropping my shoulders. I've completely lost count, so I'm going to do a few more seconds here. I'm pushing my sacrum down, as I mentioned. I'm also dropping my shoulders. I'm pushing my head into my hand, and I'm feeling this a little more deeply into the mid of the back. Okay, I have no idea how long that was, so I'll just stop there. Okay, now for front and back, use both hands because you don't want to become asymmetrical. So, do something. It doesn't really matter. You just want to have some kind of pressure, so whatever works for you. But just use both hands for front and back. And here we go, back. And okay, for those of you who practice Tai Chi, if you really emphasize the second bow, which is what I was doing there, what I mean by that is so I had my feet parallel, knees bent, sacrum tucked. So when the sacrum is sacrum is down, which causes sort of the pelvis to come flat. When you do that, um, and then you take your spine and extend it while doing these poses, it causes the entire. So this, and by the way, doing this is engaging the second bow. So this keeping the hips engaged as so, and then extending the head up via the fontanelle. That's now the second bow in Tai Chi. The third bow is your arms. And now we have the three bows engaged. But doing this with the second bow engages the entire back, at least the entire spinal column. So I'm going to do the same thing on the front. I don't think it has quite the same, but I do think it's going to hit the intercostals quite a bit more. And if you're trying to really loosen up your chest so that you can really relax, and I mean that in both a physical and a mental sense, loosening the chest muscles allows you to do that. So it's not going to happen overnight. This is something you do, and over time things slowly get looser. but as they get looser, they tend to stay looser. Okay. So again, I'm a little bit wider here than shoulder, maybe, shoulder and a half, shoulder width and a half, feet parallel, knees slightly bent, pushing the sacrum down, flattening out my pelvis a bit, pushing up on the fontanelle, dropping the shoulder blades, and I'm going to count to 30. Okay, and relax. Whew. Well, that got the whole back again. So that really is a nice extension. If you're working primarily on the neck, that's fine. You're going to get good effect from just, if you're sitting and you're just doing this part of it, that's going to work well. But what I'm doing is I'm actually integrating quite a bit more of my body. So I'm actually activating quite a bit more of my body during this. And so it's going to synchronize that part of the body. So it's just going to make my body work better. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, now for the last one, I'm going to be pushing up. And so in this one, I want to be standing if I can, but even if you're not standing, in fact, just for something different, I'll do this one sitting. And we'll find out just how effectively different it is. So if I'm doing the sitting, I can still push my sacrum down. And actually, I'm going to show you this from the side because it shifts my weight. So first of all, I'm going to push my sacrum down. And I'm not really trying to move my torso. In fact, I can't do that too far. Got to be careful. So I push my sacrum down, and then I extend my fontanelle up. I'm balanced. There we go. And also my chin tends to come back a little bit. So I'm now getting my spine engaged. And now I'm going to compress it. And here we go. Okay, that was closer to 40 seconds or so. Ooh, yeah, that still works just fine. So standing optional. I'm still going to tend to prefer to stand just because I like doing more integrated body work. I mean, if I can do a full standing wuchi and then also do some kind of active stretch, I'm going to do it. Also, when I'm sitting waiting in line somewhere, I'll probably do something like this. Not like this. I don't want to start to lean forward and shorten the front of my body. It doesn't seem like much, but think long term. You do that for 30 years. You do this slowly over time. You start to lean forward, and things start to get shorter. So don't do that. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to do a reverse on that so that I can sort of let my spine extend before I actually get into stretching. So here we go. I'm just going to do a very weak forward fold. Already I've got a nice pop. And I'm not going to do this for long enough to consider it a deep flexibility stretch. I'm just doing it to allow my spine to get a counter response to the pressing it just received. So the spine got a lot of twists and it got compressed and is getting relaxed and it's just going through all of its motions. Okay, that's, I think, enough for now. Okay, now for tonight's stretch, this is day 5 in the classic science of stretching sequence. For the first stretch, now, my thumb got bit by the kitty 2 nights ago, and it's fine. It looks awful, but I think I'll be able to do this, but we'll find out. So this is going to stretch my forearms quite a bit. Think about this. You're like this all day long, most likely. Your arms are bent. So you're shortening your forearms. So this is a great way to counter that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a 5-minute timer. And then I'm going to slowly get into this. Now, you got to work with where you're at. My right wrist can't start very aggressively. So I'm going to have to hold off on my right wrist for a few moments until it decides it wants to play. So you got to get to know your body. And I said this last night, but it occurs to me, I think it's worth repeating. You know, after you've done this for several months and you sort of generally slightly released or reduced your overall like static tension, your resting tension, you'll start to notice things better in your body. So, for example, this week I've had a couple of different incidences where I was frazzled before practice, and I could feel where I was breathing just very easily. In the past, I could generally tell, but now I can get a lot more precise location. And so when I'm shaking, I'm able to sort of keep doing that sense and feel I can feel it move down, down, down until it really, yeah, I can tell when I'm faking it being in my belly and it's actually like, it's there finally. Okay, this is doing okay, and my thumb doesn't seem to be causing any problems, so I go a little bit more intense. Now, this one is actually called reverse dog because I'm about to go into a down dog or approximation because I can only handle so much. And here we go. Yeah. I'm going to go wide here, a little less pressure for just to give me a second. There we go. So I can control the pressure. I will bring my feet in, but right now, this is actually quite a bit easier than what I was just doing. Still, it does increase the pressure, so I'm getting a better stretch in my forearms. And this is after I've been practicing this pose for about 4 years. So I was nowhere near this when I started. And I still have lots of room to improve. I don't recommend making those kind of adjustments in a pose like this. I thought about coming back down on my knees, and I probably should have. Got lucky, though. Oh, okay. I'm going to come down a little bit. My forearms have had quite a bit. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break, though, actually, if I simply do something like this, oh, yeah, that's still a huge, huge stretch. So this is a great counter if you type all day. And if you type all day and you've never done something like this and you start to do this, please do scream my name. Please do use my name in vain. But the next pose is even worse. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, I was just that little extra tuck there. Oh, man. feels like both of my palms are actually sort of being pulled up. And actually, yeah, that's right. So if you work on your second bow in this pose, I remember this a couple years ago. I discovered this and it kind of shocked me. So let's see if I start to push my sacrum down. Ooh, right there. I can feel the palms being sucked up like this. So I'm getting the whole ligament structure engaged. Now to come out of this one, oh, I'm just going to slowly get my all the weight off my arms. I'm not going to straighten my hands anytime, like right away. I'm going to just very slowly lift. I'm going to see if I can turn this beeper off. Okay, that didn't hurt. Okay, now I'm just going to let gravity help me reset. Now, that's a lot of discomfort, but once I just get them back in, they feel great all the time. I mean, actually, you're either going to have pain if you don't do these all the time, or you're going to have a little bit of pain when you do these, and then you'll be less painful other times. So I'm like amateurizing pain, aches and pains of growing older by doing these practices. Okay, now for this next pose, there are two parts to it. There's pins and there's needles. The pins are your hands. So we're going to put our hands behind our back in prayer hands. If you can't do that, maybe reach behind your back. Lots of options. Like let's say you can't even reach behind your back. When I started Tai Chi, I couldn't reach my hands behind my back. I couldn't interlace my hands behind my back. So if you can't reach behind your back, option one on this may be externally rotate, lateral rotation, and then just there you go. That'll work, especially if you can get just a little bit of lean, because then all of a sudden gravity is doing work. And guess what? That's going to be a great stretch. Really, it may not seem like it, but here's the magic. When you get to 2 minutes, you start to do persistent change, right? So 2 minutes, 2 minutes, you have to breathe, 4-8, get to 2 minutes, and you'll start to notice change the next time you do it, the next time you do it. And the great thing is, while flexibility comes on slowly, you generally don't lose it. So it generally persists quite well. My glasses, here we go. So for this pose, I'm already actually half in it. I've got to say that SO word a little bit less. I'm going to curl my toes under. Now, I want to put pressure on my heels. If you are unable to get your bum onto your heels, don't hesitate to pillow up, because right there, I'm getting plenty. Oh, actually, I'm getting a lot of pressure on my toes right there. That's great. Now, why are we doing this? Believe it or not, this is called dorsiflexion. And if you want to squat, it's dorsiflexion. This is basic range of motion. This is a functional move. Other countries, people 90 can do this all the time. I'm kind of able to do it, but not very well. So this is an important basic motion. And if you can do this, you've got great hip flexibility. And if you've got great hip flexibility, you're going to have better balance. And as you get older, if your balance is better, you fall less. And falling and breaking a hip is one of the biggest things you can do to hurt yourself. Also, a lot of these stretches, they're engaging the skeletal muscles. And so, in fact, I need to check this, but I'm pretty certain that these deep flexibility poses actually grow muscles as well as stretch them. So I actually think you're getting quite a bit of bang for the buck on all of this stuff. Now, I've been digressing, so I'm going to start over so I can cut this. All right, for this next pose, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to work on my ankles and toes and feet, so down there quite a bit. And I'm also going to get something in the shoulders. So for the back, we'll call the pins part of the pose. This one's called pins and needles. I'm going to do whatever I can to get my hands behind my back. Now, if this is what I can do, that's fine. If this is what you can do, that's fine. I'm going to work on getting them into prayer pose, but it'll take me a few moments. Then I'm going to have my toes curled under, and I'm going to sit back. If you cannot get your bum on your heels, use a pillow. That's completely fine, because what I want is a little bit of pressure on your toes. I want you to stretch those toes, because as you stretch those toes, you're also stretching the arches of your feet, and that will feel great. Now, for this one, this is a I think one of these poses I did too long. Oh yeah, I think the first one was supposed to be 3 minutes. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was supposed to be 3 minutes. Okay, ooh, that's pretty good right there. I might turn my hands into prayer pose, but the thing is, I get a bit of a wrist problem there on my right wrist, and I'm getting a good shoulder stretch right now. Okay, now on this pose, for me, about close to the 4 minute mark, my shins start to stretch. And so, in fact, what will probably happen is if you were to fast forward, you're going to see my knees have shifted forward a little bit, and it can actually hurt a little bit. So you might put a pillow in front of your knees to stop you from shifting too far forward. How you doing, Chesh? My arms are a bit occupied. Yeah, he's bumping into me, which is changing my balance a little bit, but it's not too bad. So gentle movements throughout these poses is okay. And in fact, when you move slightly, you're probably going to notice that you're engaging slightly different parts of your muscles, which means you're getting more of the individual fibers to simultaneously release. These sarcomeres are either engaged and strong or released and relaxed. And of course, they're at a basic level of tension. And what we're doing is we're training our muscles to go to more, have a larger range of basic tension. So I can generally have my muscles at a lower tension state more often. Another good thing about this pose is rambling so that you're distracted from the discomfort. This is not a comfortable pose. A fellow Tai Chi student asked me for a pose for the ankles. I gave her this pose. She came back. This is on Saturday. I swear this happened. Next Saturday, she came in and she said, "Brett, why do you hate me so much?" Because this is a heck of a pose. But really, um, you'll find that the poses that are more discomforting. Now, I want to say, be careful. Discomfort versus pain. If it's stabby, if it's acute, be careful about that. Well, I'm not looking for pain. This is discomforting, but it's not painful. And what's the difference? I could go deeper a little bit, but if I go too deep, then my muscles' natural reflex, first level of reflex, will engage, and I'll tighten up, and it'll be counterproductive. So I'm getting a really good stretch in my toes. It's definitely not comfortable, but my feet don't cramp up anymore. So I used to, middle of the night, I'd wake up, I'd stretch my foot, and my calf, and my arch would just cramp up. That doesn't happen anymore. Also, my balance is better because I have better grip with my feet. So it allows for a more subtle movement during internal martial arts practices. And my shins are sliding. There we go. It's 4 minutes in. Yeah. I'm going to see it. I'm just going to let them slide this time. Okay. There's not much time left in this pose. I can give you a few pets as I come out. I'm going to keep the toes turned under, though. Hey, kitty. Man, those toes are getting stretched. Okay, now to come out of this, I'm going to, first of all, get the weight off the toes very, very slowly. If you come out of this pose fast, in fact, I'm not even sure I want to come out at all right at the moment. Yeah. I got to come out really slow. Once I'm out, like right there, I'm pretty much okay, but I'm still going to wait a few seconds. I'm going to set my toes down. And the counter to this is this is now I'm pointing my feet. So that is plantar flexion, the opposite of dorsiflexion. And so I'm taking my ankles through a full range of motion. Now, yesterday I did a pose where it started like this. So we've already done a pose like this in the series, in the normal series. But this is just a counter, a reset to what I just did. All right, last pose. If you sit all day, if you have lower back pain, this pose is for you. I want to caution you though, you might need some support on your side so you don't twist over too far. Eventually you can twist further. But the other caution is if you do this pose well, your lower back will feel fundamentally different. The side that you stretch first will feel like it's gone. And if you come out of the pose too quickly, it's very easy to hurt your lower back muscle. Lower back muscle. It's very easy to hurt any number of places in your lower back. So I'm going to do this for 5 minutes. I'm going to lay on my back. Step one, lay on the back. I'm on a carpeted second floor, so it's wood. So it's pretty standard. It's comfortable enough, but you might want a little more padding depending. Watch out for hot spots on this. Like, if you've got your knee in a weird place or something, you don't want to hold this for 5 minutes and basically get a bruise because you have a hot spot. Now, option one, right foot behind my left knee, left hand outside of right, and I'm going to twist over. That's option one. Option two, you might put that right foot on the outside of the left knee and twist. And basically, the next options are just further down. So I'm trying to get a lower back stretch. I'm gonna lift my knees up, and then I'm going to again right hand outside of the left hand outside of right knee, and I'm just going to twist my body, my hips off the ground. That's great, but notice I'm getting a big stretch right here. Excuse me. Well, yeah, you got to see some skin. I did start the pose, yeah. No, I did not. Now, here we go. Okay, now, right now, this is a stretch in my shoulder as well. Letting my hand hover like this. This might be too much for you. And if it is, bring your hand back and just say something like this. Pointing your elbow is sort of the minimum part of this pose because you're keeping a nice twist in your body. I mean, if you really can't do it, that's fine. Do something like this. But if I do this, I'm getting the pose further up into my back. So it extends the pose. And then if I go a little bit further, I get a shoulder stretch as a bonus. You may not be able to do this right now, but I wasn't able to do it when I started doing these poses either. But the day 3 poses specifically stretch you in a way that over time will enable you to do exactly what I'm doing here. And also, the day 3 poses are the main poses for working on your neck indirectly, the neck adjacent sequence. Okay, I'm gonna reach in and get the kitty. I still got the most of the back engaged. Hey, you come here. I can't quite get you. Come over here. There we go. Okay. A little bit of bouncing. Let's see if we can get that there. There we go. This guy's name is Cheshire. I call him Chesh. And he's a Tonkinese. He looks Siamese. He's a Tonkinese. At least that's what my wife tells me. I'm more of a dog person. No, of course I love our kitties. Oh, man, give me that. I got to check that out. Is that the scratch? There was a bit of a kerfuffle between you and another kitty, and that is a Claude from 2 nights ago. I'm sorry, buddy. Got it. Put that on the floorboard so I can get it later. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, I got in between a fight between him and another kitty, and that's what the thumb and the scratches on my left leg are from. Which, honestly, no big deal. Okay. He's dude, you're put. Oh my God, he's pushing my hand down with his paws, his back paws, and it's extending the stretch. It feels pretty good. Yeah, you're helping me out, Chesh. Thank you. I appreciate that. Give me that tail. I got your tail. Now, I'm not actually pushing or pulling with my right hand or my left hand on my right knee. I am, however, allowing the weight of my hand to extend the stretch a little bit, just a touch. You don't need to do that, but eventually over time you'll be able to do that. When I started this pose, my knees were about they were probably 30%, about there. They were far enough over that it wasn't entirely working against me. Gravity was kind of working for me. But there's another complementary pose called butterfly that is in the second day. The second day is all about hips, and butterfly, you sit with your feet, the soles of your feet together, and let your knees flail out. That is a great pose to do when you're sitting, say, on a couch or in a recliner. I do that when I'm watching TV if I'm not doing something like double pigeon or half, more likely half pigeon. Now I'm now dropping my shoulder back while I've got my hand scratching him. So I'm actually still getting enough weight from my shoulder with my dropping the shoulder back to get the stretch. Now the timer's going off. I'm going to first unwind my feet if they're wound up. Just slide my right foot back along my left leg until it's on the ground. This really come out of this one slow. I'm going to now slowly twist my body until it's flat on the ground. Goodbye, Chesh. I'll see you later. And then I'm going to lift my bum just a touch so that I can get myself lined up and set it down. And if you happen to do this pose right now, feel your left side compared to your right side. They're like foreign countries to each other. One is loose, the other one is rigid. Okay, so same thing, other side, asymmetrical pose. Now let's say you're really tight on one side. Let's say your left side is tighter than your right side. Do it a minute longer. Don't avoid doing a side. Always do both sides because you really can't get to balance by taking an unbalanced approach. You certainly can, but take control theory and you'll understand more about why you don't want to take such a binary approach to things. All right, anyway, I think that's made sense, but who knows anymore? We're just rambling. Right hand, outside, left leg. I'm going to twist over, lift my knees, twist over, start the timer. Hello, Chess. Welcome back. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I come out of this, unwind your feet if they are wound, and get my left foot first on my right calf shin area, slide it down to the ground, set it down, twist back slowly my torso, keeping engagement with my back until I'm almost flat, and then I'm gonna lift up a little bit, and I'm just gonna sit here for a second. Now, something you might try, taking in a big breath and really expanding your belly. And what I want you to feel is see if you can feel your back expanding into the floor. Taking in a full, deep belly breath that does a couple things. It stimulates your vagus nerve, which is going to help you calm down, rest, and digest. Also, you're going to better fill up the bottom part of your lung, which is going to increase the available oxygen in your bloodstream. So it's good practice. This is called total breathing in Tai Chi, and it's a good practice to practice on the floor because you can actually get that feedback from the floor. So I'm going to inhale to my belly and really expand my belly and try to also feel my back pressing into the floor. And then finally the chest, and then I'm going to exhale. Let's do this as real breath work. Okay, so got my feet. I don't think it's really important, but I think feet bent is fine. Knees bent is fine. I'm going to inhale to a count of 4 in my head. I'll do a count a couple of times and exhale to a count at 8. I might slow it. I might end up doing a longer exhale than 8, but I'll start it with a 4-8 ratio. What that's going to do is it's going to, the belly breathing is going to extend stimulate the vagus nerve. The 4-8 ratio is also going to tend to emphasize parasympathetic nervous system. The fact that we're taking that ratio of 5 breaths a minute is generally stabilizing. So that combination of things and this thing around my neck is going to basically put me to sleep. And here we go. Inhale, and then to a count to 4. Okay, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to continue that without sound. Now I'm additionally doing a constricted throat exhale, which stimulates the vagus nerve in your throat. So I'm just going all out of the vagus nerve. I'm trying to give it all the attention I can. And I'm falling asleep doing it. So I'm going to continue that breathing for a few more rounds. Really try to extend your belly and feel your back pressing into the floor. And then do that standing up. We done? Bedtime, buddy? Any more stretches? Kind of want to do asymmetrical baby. Asymmetrical baby is a hip opener. So baby, you bring your feet up and grab them. Asymmetrical is you do one leg at a time. I'm not going to do this as a stretch. I'm just going to do a little bit of this just for a second or two. This is not asymmetrical baby anymore. Okay, other side. Side's a little bit tighter. So my hand holding my foot is a leverage point, and it allows my body and my hand holding my foot to be 2 points, and then that allows me to relax the hip socket entirely and just let it drop. Okay, I think that's sufficient. What do you think, Chess? Is that sufficient? Come here. No? Here. Come here. This is a kind of savasana you might consider after some kind of practice. Not the same thing, but you know what? Mixing it up's pretty good too. Too much? Sorry about that. Okay, that's enough. Alexa, play Spotify. Alexa, skip. Alexa, skip. Just a few seconds of Tai Chi. Okay, I talked about this last night, so I'm going to go a little bit further. First of all, I'm going to establish Wuchi. I've said that already. I'm not going to say it again. I feel like doing this with my eyes closed. Shifting my weight to the left, and then I grab an incoming punch. I squeeze with my hands. That's a little bit deeper than this. It's not so too much into the muscles, but into the fascial tissue. It's a fascial grab. Come up into a cat stance, block my groin, and pull away from my body. The natural response would be for that person to pull back, and I oblige them by moving forward and breaking their arm, give or take. I retreat, someone's coming from my side. That's an empty step on the left foot where I'm moving it without any weight. Grab an incoming wrist. Again, fascial grab there. So it's a slightly deeper grab than the skin, but you don't want to actually get the muscles. You want to get the fascial tissue just below the skin. Cat stance. Ward off slantingly upward. My weight shifts from my back left heel to the ball, large ball, behind the big toe of my right foot. Now it comes across to the other ball. It's on the outside and coming down the outside of the foot to the heel, shifting to the ball of the big toe of the left foot, around the toes, back to the heel to ball, figure eight, across the toes, right here across the toes, outside of the foot, heel, back to the ball, across the toes, dig under there, take your sacrum and push it really under, heel. Now I'm going to go more to the arch of the right foot, or more, actually almost center my weight. Retreat, someone's coming from the side. The sun crosses the sky. Top hand grabs an incoming punch. Again, fascial grab. I'm going to pull. Now, I'm going to hide a tea bag, or put a tea bag over the sink, so that's a grab. Tea bag over the sink. Sweep. Right foot's doing an empty step there. I'm going to push with my right foot to twist my waist and hips. That's going to then extend my hand at the very last moment. Incoming punch. Retreat. Grab. Left hands. In the traditional form, it's just a stomp, but I do a balance here, but I think I'll just do the stomp here. Stomp. Block. Grab the wrist. Grab the elbow. Swing the foot between the feet. Shoulder. Probably on their sternum. Push. And if you want, rotate your hand to engage your ligaments to tighten that. That's part of a Bagua move called hiding the flower. And then stork spreads its wings into a cat stance. Again, sacrum down. I can feel my right hip flexor stretching because I've got my sacrum engaged or down. Hand comes down a wall, or the stork spreads its wings. I grab an incoming punch and I bring it in. I protect my temple. Empty step. Foot comes down, and I'm going to push with my right foot. I'm going to push my hand forward, and I'm going to get their hand out of the way, press into their sternum. I'm going to then grab an incoming punch. I'm going to play the lute or break the elbow, your choice, and a kick. I do different kicks here. Maybe I'll do a snapping kick, a heel kick, whatever. Back to a cat stance. Again, incoming punch, step and press, come back, turn out, grab an incoming punch, protect the temple, and then empty step, press the punch out of the way as you press into the sternum. Normally I would step forward, but I'll step backwards since I have no space because of the camera angle. Grab an incoming fist, protect the temple, brush knee, step up, grab a hand. I'm gonna step back here to give myself some room, play the lute or kick. And then finally, one more left brush knee. Then we're going to step down, deflect. Parry. Oh, I lost that there. Punch. Clear. Press. Cross hands. End of part one. Good night.